One of my goals is to start a podcast, and I'm thinking about just starting off small and begin with a couple small video updates that I'll post on X. What I want to talk about all things AI. I want to talk about where AI is today, where AI is going. I know everyone is talking about AI. I'm just going to be another person talking about it, I suppose. But well, hoping that I'll just provide a different perspective, additional thoughts and considerations about AI. It's certainly a broad topic, and it's coming fast and hard. It's going to change our daily lives from I think from home and into business, obviously. And for this very first episode or whatever I'm calling this that I'm doing right now, I really just wanted to talk about what's been going on over the last few weeks with image generation, especially. And I wanted to talk about it now because, it's who knows what the next flavor is going to be. Over the last few weeks, it's definitely been around image generation and specifically text to image generation as opposed to diffusion image generation. And what is diffusion? Which I think is a really good question, and I think also a very hard one to really answer. I have not found a really good explanation of what exactly a diffusion model does. But if you've heard of Stable Diffusion, if you've heard of Midjourney, these are the key top diffusion models that are out there in terms of image generation. And what they're doing or how they train their models is not it's not really the same way how we communicate and talk to a chat client, a AI chat client today. So I think that's probably maybe where some of the confusion was as to, hey, if I'm asking for this particular image, why does it not give me the image that I'm asking for? Like why is it just kind of like in the ballpark but not exactly there? And I think that is really the difference between a diffusion model and what we've been seeing over the last few weeks, which is more of a text to image model. I guess the best way to explain it is that these models, when they are training, they're breaking down images. So they're basically slowly diffusing or adding static to an image, really pixel by pixel, bit by bit. And this is their learning process. This is their training process. So they're basically super analyzing an image. That way, they could kind of tell the parts of the image, and if they get a prompt or if they get a task to build up an image that is similar, kind of again in that same ballpark, then it knows the process of breaking down. Therefore, it's really trained to build that back up. It's trained to synthesize that image back up, and it's a good way still to get really high quality images. And I think maybe to get, let's say, more of a creative image of sorts, right? If you don't want it to do a very, very specific thing, but you want a ballpark kind of idea and you want a high quality image, then diffusion models have shown a lot of promise. I think where the confusion comes in really is when you're talking just to Chat GPT, not asking for an image or anything, but you're just talking to it. You could see that it's thinking about it, kind of analyzing what the question is. These reasoning models, right? That's what I'm referring to. And you can see that it's thinking about it and giving you an answer based on the context, the semantics of the text. So that piece of it isn't really so much part of the equation in the same way with a diffusion model. You ask it to do something, it's gonna more so ballpark it because it doesn't have that same semantic understanding of the text, the prompt that you're asking it to do. Whereas these text to image models, well, it is more the way that we're uh, at this point accustomed to talking to AI via text. So we're asking it to do some things. We're giving it more of an explanation. We're giving it more details via text. And with the text to image models, it's better able to semantically understand what the task is and to undertake that task. That's why we can go in to, let's say, Gemini 2.0 Flash their image generation model that came out a couple weeks ago, which I think really started this wave, right? That's where you saw on X a lot of people saying that Photoshop jobs are pretty much done, which is true because when I tried it, like I was just asking it to change a very specific thing, and it changed that very specific thing in the way that I wanted it pretty much right away with no hallucinations, and it wasn't this ballpark thing. So I kept all the rest of the image intact and only changed that particular piece that I asked it to change. For an example, like if I just wanted to change my hat to some other hat, it would do just the hat specifically and leave my face, leave my body, leave the background, leave everything else alone. And that's really, really powerful, right? When we're talking about Photoshop type capabilities. And that was really cool to see. And that's again what we saw over the last week with ChatGPT. I don't know if it's still Dolly or what they did, but they certainly improved their text to image model. And it's that's where you see Sam Altman. Every other post of his on X was talking about how his servers are melting, how he had like a million new signups, how it's slow but it's getting faster, and it's for paid right now, but it's coming to free, which is you have some allotment right now on the free plan. Um, yeah, so we saw quite the wave with that. But interestingly, my experience with the text to image models have changed over the last week or so. As I mentioned, Gemini 2.0 Flash, their experimental model for image generation, it worked so good the first time I used it, but I was trying to create or really modify, touch up an image that I wanted to use for X, which you could see right here. It's the one I have on there currently. And I first went to Gemini 2.0 Flash and AI Studio and tried to just improve that image there, like take out the background, improve my face. I'm getting a little older, so I wanted some of the wrinkles to go away. Couldn't quite get to that, so it's still a work in progress. But it was being less precise than a few weeks ago. I don't know if it got nerfed, if they throttled some things or what, but it just doesn't seem as accurate, at least when I was trying it yesterday, as it was a couple weeks ago. And then I next tried ChatGPT, and I don't know what it was like. I've seen plenty of posts on X where people were able to do this, right? Just kind of improve their image, make them look professional, sort of thing, put a suit on. But when I was trying to do that, every single time it would alter my face. It would make my face look way different, way more handsome than I actually am. So obviously not usable because I prompted it to not change my face. I just wanted to like touch up my face. Even if I said don't even do anything to my face, what I was seeing in both Gemini and ChatGPT is that it was just doing too much. It was, I don't know, hallucinating too much, not following instructions, what have you. But ultimately, interestingly, the best one that worked out for the profile picture that I put on was using Grok 3. Grok 3, not on grok.com, but on X. If you go to Grok from there, they have a image edit feature, and I think it's very much the same thing, right? Text to image model where you can just tell it what you want to modify, and it was doing a pretty good job just modifying those pieces and leaving the rest of me mostly intact. Again, struggled to make me a little younger looking, I guess was what ultimately I was trying to do, but still had the best results. Which reminds me, Elon XAI, where is the API? Would love to use Grok 3 and more things outside of just interfacing it on an iPhone app and on grok.com and on x.com. I want the API. Where's the API? Let's see the API. All right, I think that's it for my first talk, image generation, making a splash. We've had some users, because I'm going to talk about Misty too. Misty, if you haven't tried it yet, go to msty.app. Try out Misty app. We're working on another product called Misty Studio, and we are just going to try to make AI super easy, available, super valuable to all. Um, yeah, we are going at it at a sprint on top of a sprint. It is insane, and we are just super excited. But we've had some users ask about image generation capabilities within Misty. If you're not, it's certainly on our roadmap. It's coming soon. You shouldn't have to wait too long. But we've had some amazing ideas, and uh, yeah, I think once we get Misty Studio a little further along, we're gonna start tackling that, and it it's just so exciting just to think about it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. Um, but this does it for my very first episode. Again, I'm going to try to expand this into more of a podcast of sorts, see where it goes, maybe get some people to come on the show and interview them or talk and chat and just, and just dive more into all things AI. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.